Welcome to part 3 of the mystery crochet along. Today we're going to make this huge rectangle that is crocheted using the thermal stitch. The most important part is that your rectangle in the end measures 15 times 7.5 inches. So if you don't have the right stitch count, that is totally okay. If you don't have the same row count as me, totally okay as well. Just make sure that it's 15 inches across and 7.5 inches long. So that is all you have to worry about. Make sure that you already have done part 1, which is this triangle, as well as part 2, which is this triangle. You did 6 of these and 6 of these. This is part 1 of the mystery crochet along. This is part 2 of the mystery crochet along. And this right here is part 3. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to show you how to do the thermal stitch, and you are just going to make the entire rectangle using Brava yarn from We Crochet. We Crochet is sponsoring this mystery crochet along that I am hosting, Nicki from Nicki's Homemade Crafts, together with Nadia from Yarn Utopia. If you don't know anything about this mystery crochet along, check out the link down below in the description. It tells you all about it, as well as the written tutorials of part 1, 2, and 3, as well as the videos according to those parts. So let's start with part 3. So part 3 is the thermal stitch. I'm not going to crochet an entire row of 53 stitches of the thermal stitch, but I'm going to show you a tiny swatch of it. So what you're going to do is you're going to chain 54 chains, and you're going to then crochet single crochet starting from the second chain of the hook, which I'm about to do as well, all the way across, 1 single crochet per chain. So then you're going to end up with 53 single crochets. However, you might have to adjust according to your tension, your hook, and your yarn. Hopefully you use the same hook and as well as yarn as we do, but you still have a different tension. So don't worry if your gauge is off. If you don't have 15 inches across, don't worry about it. You can adjust to it by simply adding or removing chains. The most important part is the measurement, 15 times 7.5 inches for the rectangle. So start by going into the second chain from the hook, going into the back bump. That means turning around your chain and seeing that bump right there. That's where you're going into, and you're placing your single crochets right in there. So 1 row of simple single crochets. That's all. I have this tiny swatch here. You're going to have 53 stitches of single crochets for the first row. The thermal stitch is made with single crochets. However, we're doing that in a zigzag. So it's not the normal way how you crochet single crochets, okay? So here we go. We finished row 1. So instead of going on top of these, we're kind of going on the side. So we're going zigzag on the side, which makes the stitch very, very thick. In fact, it is known as the thickest stitch in crochet. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, very important because otherwise you're going to have a hard time finding that last stitch right there. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into the back bump. As you can see, I'm still holding my project like this, okay? So don't turn it or anything, just leave it as it is. So if we're going from here to here, that's all. We're going now into the back loop right here of that last single crochet we made. And we're going into the bottom loop right here that you see. It's a literally parallel loop that you see next to each other, right? From that back loop right there to that loop, okay? It is pretty much the other half of the V on the bottom, as you can see, right? These are parallel loops, and you're going through both of them, okay? And now you're going to place your single crochet right on top. So yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through too, right? So that's what you just did. Now we're going to the next one. So you're going to see right here is the next one, back loop, and here's the parallel loop, right? So if you simply insert in your hook through both, like that, and doing your single crochet. And you're doing that again over here. You're doing that in an entire row. So it's these 2 parallel loops together. It is the back loop here that of the single crochets you just made, and then the loop on the bottom. So, and then once you finished your row, you have 53 stitches or something similar. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to not turn, but watch me, I'm flipping it. So it's this flip, right? It's from going from here to here. That's how you're flipping, okay? Now you did your chain of 1, and now we're going to go again through the back loop of the single crochet you just made right here, and that leftover loop, which was the front loop of the stitch we just did. So there's this leftover loop, right? You can see those. You saw leftover loops right here. We're going to go through them. Again, they're parallel to each other. So insert your hook, pull through, and then do your single crochet. So again, it's these parallel loops to each other. That's what you're going to do. Parallel loops. And you're going to do that all the way through the end. There you go. And as you can see, naturally you're already turning this around. And there you go. You're doing your chain of 1. And again, you're doing it going through the back loop right here. And that parallel loop, which is the leftover loop that we literally left over, right? It's that loop for the next row. And you're doing your single crochets. So you're going to do that until you have 7.5 inches. Now, that can be for you the same amount of rows as I do. I have 66 rows. Now, that doesn't mean you have that many. However, how do you count them? Well, you have 2 rows that are going in a zigzag. So you're going to have to count the front side and the back side. So how do you do that? So if you can see here my project, it's a little bit dark, but you might be able to see it. You can see these little bumps right here. Okay, every time you see these bumps, these round things, right, that's part of the single crochet, that is 1 row. So you can count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3. So that's 23 rows. And then over here, you have also 23 rows, so which makes it 46 rows. So that means you have to make either 46 rows in total. That means you count the front and the back because it's made in a zigzag. So you have to count both sides in order to figure out the right stitch count, the right row count, right? So count both sides so you know the row count that you have. However, as I just said, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that it's 7.5 inches from the bottom to the top and 15 across. That's what you need to make sure that happens. Measurement in this mystery crochet along is way more important than gauge, stitch, or row count. Measurement is what counts here. So 15 times 7.5. Now I'm going to show you now how to finish it up. So the very, very last row that you're going to do is instead of going through 2, so let me make a chain of 1 here. Instead of going through 2 loops on the very, very last row, you're going to go through all 3. So as you can see, I went through these 2, which is usually the one that we leave over, right? This front loop right here. We're going through the front, the back loop, and the parallel loop together. That is how you finish up the very last row, so you don't have that weird edge looking thing. So simply go through all 3 loops and make a single crochet right on top, right? That's what you're going to do all the way through the end, and that is how you finish it up. Slip stitch, and that's done. Okay, that's how you do it. So again, 7.5 times 15 inches, thermal stitch. I have 23 rows on each side, which makes it 46 rows, but for you, it might be more or less. If you absolutely have no idea now how to do the thermal stitch and this video is still not helpful for you, I have another video for a thermal stitch. It's linked down below in the description if this video was not helpful to you. However, if you really, really don't care for the thermal stitch and you really don't like it, you can simply do a alternative version of that, which means in order to make the same thickness as this, you can make 2 rectangles, all single crochet, but 2 of them. So 2 rectangles that are 15 times 7.5 inches. When you do that, you then sew them together and you have the same thickness as the thermal stitch. The important thing is that it's thick. This is a very important feature for this pattern, for this mystery crochet along. It has to be thick so where you can't really look through, right? You can see there's no peekaboos through because it's such a thick layer. So make the thermal stitch as the rectangle 15 times 7.5 inches, or make 2 rectangles, single crochet, 2 of them, right? Normal single crochet, and then sew together so it's the same thickness. Either way works. You choose. But once you've done that, you will have this one rectangle. You just need one of them. One rectangle. You will have part 2. So rectangle is part 3. You will have part 2 of this triangle right here. 6 of these and 6 of these triangles right here. And then you're going to go head over to Nadia for part 4 of this mystery crochet along. After part 4, you will then decide, are you going to finish up according to how Nadia makes it, which is part 5 for her, or are you coming back to me the way I make it for part 5 of this mystery crochet along? You have 2 part 5s, and you have to pick which one you're going to go with. It doesn't matter. Either way is beautiful. Every single one is gorgeous. Be sure to like, comment, and share this video. And subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the little bell to get a notification the next time I publish a new video. Until part 5 or another video, I'll see you then. Bye!